Okay, in this video we'll just take a look at this slightly upgraded clock, and in this case I just have added these numeral indicators for the other positions of the clock, and I'll show you how I did that in a second, because what I'll be doing with these tutorials, I'll still be giving away a lot of these free tutorials, and they'll be mostly centered around the design. But if it's geared towards a lot of programming, a lot of math, physics, engineering, things like that, those are going to be in the paid tutorial category. Because for instance, if you go take a look at all my math tutorials that I had put up, well, they're not really that popular. They may get like one view per day, so it's not really worth my time to try and reach the masses with those types. But in this case, I still can show you things for the design of the clock, which is what most artists want to deal with anyway. So for instance, let's go take a look at this close up. This little right up here, there's this, I have a stem in here. This isn't really going to go into perspective mode as well. So I just kind of have these laid in here like this. In fact, if I move this cylinder out of the way for a second, you can see I have holes cut through here. To do that, I just use Boolean operations to be able to do it. But that's not how a real clock hand would work. I'm trying to avoid some of the processing associated with the real clock hand, but I will have clocks that have it as well. Real clock hands are going to have hollow holes around here so the stem can come up for these dials beneath it. But you'll see that when I do those types of clocks as well, because I'm going to drive those type of clocks with virtual batteries and timers, like 555 timers. So when say the battery is tied to the timer slows down, then the clock's going to slow down as well. But so I just place those in there, and these are rigid bodies here, these hands like this. But this is static here in this center, otherwise they'd interfere with each other. And then the placement of these numerals, to place them accurately around the center, basically with this stem being at the center of the clock, I'll just shift S and I'll put my cursor to selected right there. And then if I wanted to add something else, maybe if I wanted to add, say, square numeral indicators as well, I could just do Shift A and add maybe a cube to the scene real quick, and I'll just scale it way down, something like that. Just kind of give you an idea. And then I want to be able to place it, say, at all these. Maybe I'll place one out here just to show you, kind of give you an idea. So in order to place it, well, I don't want to just press, say, G Shift Z, so I'm moving it on X and Y and trying to place it like this, because I want to rotate it as well, just like these are all pointing out in that direction. So the way to do it is really, well, one of the ways you can do it, there's always many ways, is I'm going to go into edit mode with it like this, and then within edit mode, then I'm going to move it along the x-axis here. Right, and I'm going to move it out to here. All right, in fact, I'm going to switch over to ortho mode for a second as well. All right, so there it's lined up with the center. You can see my numbers not lined up. I'm going to have to move that up a little bit. Numbers don't align quite as easy because the center is not right at the middle of the object when you first put it on. But then from here, if I wanted to add another object to the scene, I just press Shift D. Oh no, first thing I want to do is let's check my rotation pivot. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's pivoting on the origin of this. Alright, so I'm going to leave edit mode. So from here, now I'm going to press Shift D, copy it. Before I do anything else, I'm going to press R, and I'm going to press Z. I'm going to press 30, so to rotate it 30 degrees. Alright, so it basically, and then I clicked or press the enter key. So there it rotates it like that, because it's rotating around the origin of the object there. I moved the object away from the center when I was in edit mode like that. So then you can add all these around the circle like that. Alright, so that's how I put those numeric indicators in there. And the reason I have those there is when I run this clock this time, let me zoom in just a little bit. So I'll go into here and I'm running it, but now I'm testing it, so when I get to the certain times, like 1 o'clock, I'm just going to make that indicator take off, right? So now I can control the access to the time, and then this one here, same way, it takes off. So I can make events occur as things go along. But like I said, a lot of this is pretty much high school math and physics and programming required to do this kind of stuff, and well, we'll see if that's really of interest when I put those tutorials out for sale. A lot of what I'm actually doing is I'm building an entire curriculum for, say, middle and high school students and even some elementary students who are really bright, to be able to do this type of work as part of a curriculum where they're learning the math and the physics and the programming and computer graphics all at the same time, instead of, well, for me, instead of the old boring ways that they taught math when I was in school, because math for me was just really boring. But I think kids would like this more, especially since, well, I can do all kinds of things with this clock. And so what I'll be doing as I keep building this clock up, I'll just keep adding more and more features to it, and I'll show you how I do the design of clock in case you want to design your own as well. And then because you don't always have to use the math and the physics to do the clock, if you were using this within Blender Render, you could just rotate it around using keyframes as well, and that works for certain things, no problem. But it doesn't work if you're trying to slow down time and test for time and things like that. So alright, well, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.